when this question was posed, I thought that's interesting because everybody has their own beliefs of clean eating. So, you know, someone might believe that eating organic meat is a definition of clean eating. You know, a paleo diet is a definition of clean eating. So it's a very individual thing. For me, it's plants. It's what nature has provided. It's what falls from a tree or grows in or on the ground that will allow for the colon to remain clean and happy and shifting. So it's a very individual thing. I'm not going to make judgments on what people define as clean eating. But as I said, it needs to be good quality, unsprayed, locally sourced fruit and veg from nature. That will help.
And that has the least transit time.
Exactly.
The dead foods will move through your colon slower.
So if I have a client come in and they say, Melissa, don't tell me to give up meat, don't tell me to give up my fish or my eggs or my dairy. So what I say is, I suggest that you do things that I want you to try and refrain from eating during the course of your treatment is dairy, fish, eggs, chicken, meat, processed food, coffee, all the things that are going to add toxicity to the body, because we're trying to eliminate, we're trying to move the old shit out. So if you're adding things to the system that slow the transit time down, it's kind of like you're wasting your time, your money, your effort. Like what?
And people say like, oh, but what if I eat salads with my meat so it doesn't matter? Does that quicken the transit time?
Okay, so that's what I end up saying. So I'll say to someone, if you choose to continue to eat red meat, you need to make sure that whatever flesh you are eating, that the other 3/4 of your plate is green raw salad, because that will then help it move through quicker. Not that it'll help it move through quicker, that it's all okay, but it will make it quicker than what it would be if you were just eating that flesh on its own. But if you want to be vibrant, you have live foods. You go for the electrical foods.
There's no way around it, really.
Not at all.
Not very good subtle explanation.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty much, I say, lots of fruit, lots of veggies, lots of sprouted seeds like alfalfa and sunflower seeds. They are the most amazing form of probiotic that you can put into your system. Anything that's sprouted is alive. It's got so much probiotics, so much good bacteria in it. I think my favourite at the moment is sprouted acine bread with mushroom and alfalfa and fresh artichoke. Raw mushroom. And the difference like in the texture between the alfalfa and the mushroom and tomato, like you layer it with all the different kind of
I've seen your pictures.
And that is like, it's balanced because you're getting all the good bacteria in and you're eating raw.
So much
alive.
But
it's a burger. It's a healthy version of a burger.
It looks damn good.
And tastes good.
And juices and smoothies.
So it's all the things that are high water content. So you want to do your high water content fruit, juices, smoothies, veggie based broths, herbal teas, you know, the things that keep the digestive system very happy. The body doesn't want to have to use all of its energy to break food down. That's why after the big Christmas Day eat, you know, where people have this big Christmas Day roast or whatever, and then they load up with fruit at the end, which is a no-no because it needs an empty stomach to ferment. And so everyone goes into this, what do they call it? Some
food coma.
Yeah, the food coma, the comatose state after eating so much, and the body's like, we don't even have energy to walk around. We have to use all the energy to digest all that stuff that's in your stomach. So
that's a good point. A way that you can help to clean your colon is like eating light to heavy, so that certain foods don't sit and putrefy on top of the others. I guess another point would be what you sort of touched on before is fasting, so giving your digestion a break.
So I know Don always talks about fasting on the day of your birth. So if you were born on a Saturday, use that as your fluid day. So have herbal teas or water or juices. Like it needs to be a fluid day.
And could that be soups? Or
definitely. Anything that's watery,
broken down and pre-digested.
Just gives the body a rest, and then the next day you feel amazing. Because your body's been able to go, right, we don't have to use all the energy for digestion. Let's go around and see if anything else needs to be fixed. We're tubular, as Don says. We're just made up of tubes.
Exactly.
I think he said the blood vessels in one lung would cover 2 tennis courts.
That's crazy.
I know. We're tubular. And, you know, plaque is the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Whether it's mouth plaque, you know, in the roots of the gut, or whether it's plaque in the heart or plaque in your bowel, plaque is a killer.
Yeah.
We've got to shift it out. It's clogged up tubes, stagnant trapped plasma protein.
And do you practice food combining? Is that another way to help keep the colon clean?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, obviously, a lot of nutritionists will say it's a no-no to combine protein and carbs.
Mm-hmm.
That usually gives you the farts and it will bloat the system.
Flatulence and smelly gas.
Exactly. So usually fruit likes to be eaten on an empty stomach. It doesn't really like to be mixed with very much. But then I know from my understanding the general rule is if you're going to have a veggie-based juice, things like lime, apple, celery, cucumber can be mixed with them. So even though veggies are oil-based and fruit is water, there are some exceptions to that. Yeah. So it just, like I know at the moment I'm loving, and I know that you are too, having celery, cucumber and apple juice in the morning, and it's such a beautiful hydrating combination. Yeah. And after I have that, bowel movement straight away.
Yeah, straight away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I find I do pretty well mixing some fruit and veggie together in juices.
The greener the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay green and lean.
Yeah, exactly.
No, green and clean.
Green and clean and lean.
The living foods, the green foods, the fruits and vegetables will keep you smelling.
Yeah. Your poo shouldn't really smell if you're eating the right things.
Yeah.
But, you know, the biggest thing too is that when people come to me and they say, I've started eating a raw diet and I have really bad flatulence, and I say to them, it's because perhaps you're not chewing well. And that's the secret too. If you're eating raw fruit and veg, which that's what you should be eating, you've got to chew it so well to allow all the digestive enzymes in the mouth to be able to break it down.
It's a natural process.
It's a natural process. Yeah. So a lot of the gassy stuff that happens is because people are rushing their food, eating and drinking together, which is a no-no, because the body goes, what are we doing? How much acid do we need to supply here? You're drinking, you're eating, neutralizing it, you're not. What are you doing to me? And that's when the gastric reflux and the farts and the bloating happen. So number one, chew well. Yeah. Chew your food well. Number two, let's go to the end. Squat when you poo. Okay, have a little step in front of your toilet so that you are actually raising your knees. Or you can stand on your toilet, lift the lid up and do it.
That's what I do, yeah.
Do it Eastern country style.
Well, Squatty Potty. I'll leave the link for the Squatty Potty in the description below. Yeah. Definitely get one of those.
They're the really important things.
And even with juices and smoothies, I think it's important to drink them slowly, because I find...
Chew your smoothie.
Yeah, because if you drink it too fast, even juices, I find you can get a bit gassy as well.
You can. So you should chew it. And I think too, what I deliberately do when I do my smoothie every morning is I don't blast it so that it ends up just being fluid. I pulse it
gently.
Yeah, so that I can still taste the celery in it when I'm chewing it. I can still taste the apple pectin when I'm drinking it. It's almost like baby food. Yeah. So rather than kill it by
destroy all the
just pulse, just the pulse, so that you actually end up with something that you physically have to chew, because it'll release the enzymes in the mouth.
Good tip.
That then gets sent to the stomach. Yeah. So yes, chewing well, squatting when you poo, trying to embrace the principles of health, you know. And number one, this is the interesting thing, number one principle of health is air. 3 minutes without air, we're cactus. But if we're not exercising and breathing deeply and lymphocyzing on a rebounder, which is very, very important for the lymphatic fluid, then we are compromising our bodies from the get-go with the very first most important principle of health, which is air. Yeah. You know what I found the other day? I was reading something on Facebook, and someone had written on there, every time we pick our phone up or every time we look at a computer screen or a laptop, we stop breathing.
That's crazy. Not the whole time, obviously. Just
when you pick it up and you start looking and scrolling, you're everything just. And so we are constantly compromising how much oxygen is going into our bodies because of our lives, the way technology is.
I found that's the same with like having a monkey mind, as they call it. Like when we're constantly thinking and thinking and thinking
we're
and
not breathing.
Obsessing over things.
We are breathing. When I say we stop breathing, you know, we're only breathing and using it.
Shallow.
It's real shallow breathing. It's not that deep diaphragm breathing that you get when you're on a rebound or when you're exercising on a bike or going for a walk, or, you know, you want that deep belly breathing. because that's going to move the lymphatic
so
fluid around the body.
So exercising and meditating and focusing on your breath.
100%. Yeah. So the principles of health are so important. And I always incorporate that. I keep pointing up there because the wall has them up there. But,
I'll have to show them afterwards.
But the principles of health, air, water, sunshine, walking, whole foods, happy relationships and a passion, something that gives you happy feet every day, they need to be incorporated into your daily life so that you have regular bowel movements. And so your creativity is heightened and your imagination is heightened.
Not stagnant.
Yeah. Because some people get up every day and go to a job and they don't even know why they're doing that. They just it's groundhog.
Yeah.
They're not really going with what they love.
Again, that's a whole nother episode with emotional thing. But once you start cleaning out your colon, you start really thinking about your life more and your purpose and all that sort of
definitely.
Stuff. Yeah.
And then you start going, okay, so my mind needs things to do. It's like a computer. It needs things to do. The body needs something to do. So exercise it, give it what it needs, but you also have to be feeding your spirit. So you do have to be meditating, walking on the beach, stargazing, doing all the things that actually allow for you to honour yourself and be alive from the inside.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a general response to this and then I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. So usually when a colon hydrotherapist will be trained to say that if your poop floats, it means there's too much fat in your diet. Okay, there's lack of nutrient absorption, there's poor digestion, and then your sinkies are usually because you're chronically constipated. So when you're trying to strain and they actually end up coming out, they go whoop, right to the bottom. Yeah, they're very dense, very heavy, they lack water, they're just solid, they're just nuggies, like nuggies, which is usually lack of water, stress, lack of exercise, lack of adopting and embracing the principles of health. But what I say to my clients too, because what we're also trained is that when the poop hits the water, it should kind of bobble and float within the water. So rather than float on the top or sink, it should be kind of bobbling around.
Sort of like a boat on water, just sort of bobbling. Okay.
And it should be one piece. It should be banana-like. It shouldn't be too moist, but it shouldn't be too hard. And you shouldn't be sitting in the toilet reading your War and Peace novel. You know, you shouldn't be in there for 20 minutes. Like people that go in there with their book and their newspaper, and you should go in there, squat, and your poo should come out within 30 seconds
back to life.
2 minutes. You should be back to life, and it shouldn't smell. It should just come straight out. Right, I'm good to go. Let's get back to life.
Yeah.
So it's really important. And see, a lot of people don't look at their poo. It's the first thing that you should do. It's really important.
It's a good telltale sign of what's going on.
Exactly. You want to be doing dog tail, banana form footlongs.
Yeah.
That's minimum.
Yeah.
That's the minimum that should come out of you. And if that's coming out, if at least half of that's coming out every time you wee, you've got a very happy bowel.
Okay.
But it needs to be one piece.
And then it's a telltale sign of what's going on, and then you can take that as a sign as to what to work on in your life. Yeah.
So if you're doing little nuggets, that is the telltale sign of constipation through lack of water. So a lot of my clients that will come in and they get on the machine and they start seeing little nuggies come out the view tube, they know they're dehydrated. Yeah. And usually the lips are the first sign. So someone that's got cracked lips, you know that they're dehydrated. Or you look at their skin, pick your skin up and your skin's taking a while to snap back into place, you know that you're dehydrated.
Okay.
That's another telltale sign. So lips
and skin pinch.
So if you're, I mean, look at me because I drink 5 litres a day. Snap straight
Yours
back,
would be the fastest.
But yeah, if you're doing that, then you don't have enough water in your cells. You need to up your water and shake it up before you drink it.
To liven it up.
Yep, electrify it.
Yeah.
Which I go through with the consult as well.
Okay, perfect. Good explanation. Thank you. So if someone's got Crohn's or that sort of thing, are they safe?
Yeah. Okay, so that's basically what I'd written here. The first sentence that I wrote there is more information would be required about the individual client.
What type of inflammation?
Exactly. So if the bowel is inflamed, I would require specifics about what it is, whether it's IBS, Crohn's, whatever it is. There are some contraindications that are listed on our intake form, and there are some that I obviously would need a doctor's clearance for. But in my opinion, having a colonic that is gently infusing filtered warm water into your bowel is not going to exacerbate any inflammation On the contrary, it's actually going to move and shift things out. But what I would do for someone that had a very inflamed colon, we would operate the unit and we would go cylinder by cylinder. So what that means is it would be like having an enema at home. They would slowly, gently take in a cylinder of water. The unit would be turned off. They would then have a release. Once the release happens, we fill the cylinder back up.
So it's like a slowed down version.
It's a very slowed down version. So it's a very gentle, I mean, it's gentle anyway, but rather than having it as a constant gentle process, we turn the machine off between times. So we have a release, then we
and that's
fill
what's good about the open one is you can sort of
it's
individualize.
Like a manual car. So it's the difference between, like, that's an analogy, a manual car and an automatic car. You have more control in a manual car because you control through the gears as you need to. Yeah. It's the same.
Yeah, people
So that's what I would say for someone with an inflamed gut.
Yeah, perfect.
That's what I do.
Do they need to stay near a toilet?
Yeah, okay.
For the rest of the day?
And you know what, that is it's a pretty common question, you know, because people think, oh gosh, I've had all this water put in there, I'm going to have to be sitting next to the toilet at work. No, because the sphincter muscles close over and hold everything in. So what happens is you have your treatment, and once you hop off the bed, you'll go out to the toilet and you'll sit out there for a good 5 minutes, eliminate any of the water that's sitting in the lower part of the bowel, and then during the day you may need to go to the toilet, but it's not big volumes of poop that will come out, it's just little bits of water that's coming out.
It's not like, oh crap.
No, not at all. So usually clients will feel a lot lighter in the gut. They feel like they've had like a little scrubbing brush in there that's given it a bit of an internal clean. I have a lot of people that will come out and they're so chilled. Like they come out and they're just like, oh, you know, nothing could bother me. I'm just so relaxed, and they go into like a little bit of a la.
I often feel very peaceful.
Yeah,
when I'm driving home, I'm like,
because you've gotten rid of all that old crud that, you know, keeps you shitty and stressed and
wired.
Yeah, so that's usually the general, you know, way. Some people are a little bit tired, you know, and they'll have a green juice, or they'll, you know, I'll give them some coconut water, or they'll have a banana or something, and they'll start to feel a little bit you know, more energetic. It doesn't take long. So if you come off the machine, you're a bit, the minute you have something, it's good for you, obviously, like a banana or some coconut water, or something. Well, a lot of people will bring their own juices. You know, within half an hour, you're back ready to go.
Because it is quite a, you know, a big thing for your body to do, and a lot of detox is happening. So, you know, you're not always going to feel perfect and, you know, afterwards.
Yeah, you know, it can take a lot of energy away. When you're eliminating a lot.
So just go with it and know that you've done something amazing for your body, and, you know, whether it's straight afterwards or the next day, you will feel amazing.
Of course.
For sure.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so there are, and I'm not going to list them, but they are on the intake form. So generally what I do is someone makes contact with me and they want more information about colon hydrotherapy. I always have either a face-to-face in the clinic or a telephone conversation to start off with. That's really important, because there's an energy exchange, and some people feel that it's right for them after the conversation and some people don't, and that's absolutely fine, you know. You usually work out with a hydrotherapist whether you're going to connect to that person straight away anyway. Once that happens, I email an intro pack, and on that intro pack it has the intake forms, the contraindications are listed. It has some juice and smoothie recipes. It has some testimonials, some extra information about colon hydrotherapy, so that once they've read through all that, it's like, I don't actually need to know anything more. I just need to come in for my session. And so if there are contraindications, there may be a doctor's clearance that's required. And usually, if it's some sort of surgery, we need to wait 12 weeks before we can administer a colonic. I ask what sort of medications people are on, if someone's pregnant. So there are a standard list of questions that obviously I ask at that pre-consult, if you like to call it. So there's like a pre-consult, a consult, a therapy session, and a post-consult that all is woven into the sequence of the session.
Perfect.
So the standard is plenty of purified water. You want to soften the stools. You want to soften what's in there and help it, so that when you actually get on...
Head start.
Soft fruit and veg. A lot of soft, high water content fruit and veg soups for at least 3 days prior, and then no food 2 hours prior to your
I was going to say, you don't want to eat
you don't want a full tummy when you're going in there. So you can have a smoothie or a juice, you know, an hour before. That would be fine. But if you were going to eat something solid, 2 hours beforehand.
I like to come in like in the morning before eating anything. Like I might just have a little bit of water or coconut water.
And that's interesting because some people prefer to have their colonics in the morning. Some people like having their colonics later in the afternoon or early evening. It just depends on their energy levels and how they're feeling. Yeah. A lot of people like to come at the end of the day and then they go home, have a warm bath, have something light for dinner and go to bed. Other people come in, like a lot of people that are into fitness, they'll go to the gym, come here, have their session, and then go off to work. You know, it just depends on people's
You'll find
lifestyles.
Your thing with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And, so the food that you eat before the colonic, that's the type of food that you'd recommend afterwards as well? Yeah,
so pretty much. So it's plenty of water, juices, smoothies, pureed veggies, veggie soups, probiotics.
Easy to digest.
Easy to digest stuff. Keep away from the acidic, highly acidic stuff. Okay, so if you eat meat, this is a perfect story. Had a young girl come to me 3 weeks ago, and she gave up all the meat, chicken, dairy, like she'd given everything up, and she was on plants. She'd had 3 colonics with me. She was due for her 4th one on the Monday. She went to a barbecue on the weekend, and she was with people that she was scared to offend, and she ate a meat burger. She was so sick the next day when she came. Like, didn't sleep all night. Yeah. And she said her stomach swelled up and she was tossing and turning all night and she was as sick as anything. Oh, and that's the amazing part. When you start giving up the things that the body doesn't recognise, it will tell you. It'll go, no, I don't think so. Yeah, no.
No, thank you.
No, thanks. And she hasn't had meat since. So for me, that's like, yes, fantastic. Her body has told her it's not working for us.
Yeah. So that's a perfect way to finish this interview. Is there anything else you would quickly like to say?
Yeah, I do. I just want to basically just have one final note.
Yes.
So generally speaking, we're living such fast-paced lives, and our primary needs that are related to self-care are often at the bottom of the priority list. Your health is your wealth. And I'll say it again, your health is your wealth. It's so important. Listen to your body. Listen to your gut. They will let you know if something's not right. Don't ignore the signs. We're exposed to pollution, shitty water, pesticides, herbicides, stress, antibiotics, pharmaceuticals, all that stuff that actually slow everything down. So if you think that you're kind of ready to get serious about your health, get in touch with me, because maybe it's just a conversation that you need to have. I can plant a seed and maybe that seed will germinate.
Yes.
Maybe it will, you know.
And I definitely want to say, so obviously Mel's clinic is in Capalaba. So if you're in the Brisbane or surrounding areas, please come and see her. She has such an amazing clinic and she's such an amazing colon hydrotherapist.
Thank you.
Obviously cultivates the holistic lifestyle that you want. But yeah, otherwise, obviously, because we have international viewers as well, definitely look around and find a colon hydrotherapist who you resonate with.
Definitely. The connection has to be there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And start incorporating them into your life, because they changed my life and Mel's life, and I'm sure they'll change yours as well. So thank you so much for being here again.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. I love you too, honey.
And Mel and I would love to hear from you guys, so please comment below. Let us know if you guys incorporate enemas and colonics into your life and how they've benefited you. Or let us know if you feel really inspired to start incorporating them into your life. We'd love to know. If you have any more questions, leave them below and Mel can jump on and answer those as well, for sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
Thanks so much for watching. We love you. Bye.
Bye. See ya.
How did you even do this? We're a bit attached. We're having some problems. Oh, God. The microphone's stuck on the boob tube.